Right. Hello, everybody. Everybody here just now presented are teaching the courses that they are presenting, except for me. I'm not teaching MAAL. I'm not teaching SFL, but it has always been my inspiration since I started actually studying SFL, actually tracing back 10 years ago when I was doing my MA at PolyU under Christian Matheson. So at that time, I've already thought about maybe we should have some automated ways of analyzing text, because SFL text analysis is, it's not easy to do. So I'd like to introduce you to this potentially an SFL GenAI chatbot for self-directed learning, and of course Halliday here. So agenda, context and background, all right, on the basically following Linian's guideline here. Overview of the initiative, and then looking at the sample parsers that have been there. Actually, not looking at them. You'll know why later. And then how is that relevant to the literacy development, key strategies, practices, outcomes, reflection, advantages, challenges, and then Q&A. Right. Okay. Well, you should know who they are if you are familiar with SFL. So really, just SFL is fundamental to a lot of EAP programs around the world, even for our courses. We talk about genre analysis, and all of them came from SFL, kind of. And then the challenges, as I mentioned, it's really time-consuming to do text analysis. If you're a researcher, it's a pain. And then because when you're doing analysis, there's a lot of subjectivity in it, and therefore, results might vary. So therefore, somebody who's in SFL called Mick O'Donnell has attempted to create some parsers. So if you run sample text in it, it will automatically parse it for you, put it into the SFL framework. So he has dedicated 2 decades of work in this. However, none of his parsers are actually published, and there's no available online. None of them is available online for public use, which is a shame. So therefore, well, really, the relevance of the whole thing, right, it's to make it very accessible to, if there is possible to create one, an SFL parser, to make it very accessible to everybody, so that we can develop, also develop personalized tutor, SFL tutor for these students who are studying SFL. And then the benefits for these SFL teachers, scholars, and students, obviously, it's to have a second opinion, not exactly like replacing the entire text analysis with the chatbot, but as a second opinion to help them maybe do some grammar check, right? SFL grammar check, and then of course enhancing the teaching and learning experience. To say
old and old-fashioned, which means that you don't get all the A's that you're accustomed to. There will be no PowerPoint, there will be no other forms of display. All you'll have is a talking voice.
So that is exactly Michael Halliday's voice, and took it from a YouTube video. And so now we're going to a quick demo as to what the current one that I've created, as in what it can do. The system chat, system prompt is right here, but I'm not going to show the whole thing. Basically, it's just telling the chatbot to create a persona of Michael Halliday. These references are the ones that I took from the internet, which is available if you type Halliday SFL PDF, because I don't have the copyright for putting in other things that are not already available on the internet. So there's a little bit of a struggle there. So it's not a full database or knowledge base for the chatbot, but it is what it is. A quick example here, for example, I ask, what is a gerund called in systemic functional grammar? And chatbot will respond to you and say, well, it could be called a nominalized verb or a verbal noun, so with references. Of course, those references are coming from my knowledge base. So that's that. Second question I ask, can you tell me the difference between attributive and identifying relational processes? And it will just do that same thing. It will just give you the answers as described in the knowledge base. So it can be quite detailed, right? It can be quite detailed. But there's that. Okay, and just wondering if Does anybody want to ask a question right now? If you have a question about SFL, do you have any questions you want to ask? Something that confuses you, you want to know? When you're marking, Lorena, you're marking.
Yeah, I can't remember things. That's difficult.
No worries.
How about what is theme and ream?
Oh,
Cool.
yes, that's a good idea.
Okay, what is theme and ream? See if this SF Halliday will be able to answer. Okay, so it's a bit quite detailed. Yeah. So taking the definition from that, and it gives you examples as prompted by. Yeah, if you click these, it will tell you, what are the sources they took the answers from.
Real?
Sorry? Real? Are they real? Interesting. So some accuracy, but not completely. Not completely. That's very true. Not completely. But yeah. So if you do ask them simple things, they will be the chatbot will be able to give you a certain level of accuracy. Obviously, GenAI is never going to be 100% accurate. So the advantages is there's no need for VPN, although actually VPN is not a big problem because like Proton VPN is free basically. The quality of sources is really dependent on the quality of your source. Your good quality source, it gives you quality things. Efficiency, well, it's quick, obviously. You just type in and you get fairly accurate results, but definitely not 100%. And the improvement potential is that because if you or I own the chatbot, I control the chatbot, I can fine tune it, I can add in more references, and I can also assume that newer models, LMM models will be there, and then it will improve with time, supposedly. Right. Challenges, though, number one is need to balance the costs of the tokens for the users. Because, for example, if I'm going to choose Claude 3.7 Sonnet as the base chatbot, it will cost 941 points for each query. If I choose a haiku, Claude 3 haiku, it just costs 20 points or plus. That's a huge difference. So we have to compromise between the cost of that. But again, like POE gives you 3,000 credits per day, so that's that. Different LMM performs very differently. That you can, of course, change to those deep research chatbots to give you very, very detailed things, but it doesn't sound like Halliday in that sense. The knowledge base is limited to publicly available documents because there's a copyright concern, as mentioned before. And the results are never going to be 100% accurate, but that's the same for all GenAI, basically. So it's never going to be 100%. Right. So everybody kind of knows what notebook LM is, right? The alternative could be a notebook LM version, right? It's free to use for now. And there's no need for VPN if you're using the mobile app version. So that's great. It's just recently published and is now available for free with no VPN needed. But then can only share your product, means whatever notebook that you've created in it with specific users. So not everybody's will be freely accessible. So there's that. And that's basically it. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Thank you.